second episode of Ganer Cooks. Kara and I are still hunkered down here in the house, so we decided to make another episode. This time we're gonna share. My cats really want to go outside because it's a nice day. Today we're gonna make something that our vegan and vegetarian friends are really gonna like. It's gonna be vegan tofu. I don't even know what this is called. Yeah. Okay, yeah. We're gonna be making vegan tofu red curry. The ingredients that we have for this one, we're going to need some coconut milk. You're going to need, there's my cat.
It's not sanitary.
It's not sanitary. We'll clean up before we start cooking, don't worry. The next thing you're gonna need is some of this red curry paste. I get the Thai kitchen red curry paste, but there are other different curry pastes available. Get whatever's available to you. You're also going to want crushed red pepper. It's gonna add a nice level of spice to it. Ginger. You can go ahead and get the ginger that you would get from the store, or you can go ahead and get the pre-made ginger paste. And we like to add a little extra spice to ours, so Sriracha or some other kind of Thai hot sauce would be really great for this. Next up, we're gonna have our vegetables. This is a really simple meal. It's gonna have a ton of flavor, but the vegetables that we're using are really simple. We're gonna be using a red pepper, a green pepper, a white onion, cilantro, and again,
Just getting right into
this
it.
is really kind of gross. really. So the vegetables we're going to use in this one are going to be a red pepper, a green pepper, an onion, cilantro, garlic, and bay leaves. I won't forget the bay leaves this time around. Next up, we're going to need the kind of protein of the dish, which is going to be tofu. I encourage you to get the firm or extra firm variety of tofu. Like I said, it's a really simple collection of ingredients, but it's going to pack a ton of flavor. We'll get started first off by preparing the tofu. You need to kind of get some of the water out of this. This thing is just has tons of water in it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around with a dry cloth, or you can use paper towels or something like that. But we're gonna wrap this around like so. And then we wanna press it down with something kind of heavy. So I'm gonna set it right here on this ledge, and I'm gonna press it down a little bit. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna get all that water, it's gonna kind of come out and get absorbed by the towel. So now I'm gonna begin cutting up my vegetables. Usually my trick is I like to cut off the kind of butts of this, and then I'm going to peel off the kind of huskier part that everybody's been touching since it's been sitting on the shelf. About like that, but I don't want to get rid of my good onion, just this husky part here. So I'm just going to cut this down here down the center. With this particular dish, I'm going to have larger diced versions of this onion, so I'm going to cut about like that, like so, and then kind of like so. And then I'm going to cut this in half. Because I want, in this particular meal, I want the onions to have a little bit more bite to them, something like that. I'm going to cut the peppers in the exact same way. So as you can see, each of these little pieces is about the same size. So after the tofu has sat under that towel for about 10-15 minutes or so, you're ready for us to cut it. So the first cut I'm going to make is I'm going to cut it in half down here, right like so. Then I'm going to cut about 1 inch or so cubes. So we want them to be about this size right here. In this, I've had a little bit of Sriracha, cornstarch, water, and a little bit of salt mixed in. What I'm going to do with my tofu is I'm going to lightly coat the tofu in this sauce. Adding cornstarch to our tofu is going to make it really nice and crispy. Once I've coated each of the tofu in the cornstarch mixture, I'm going to add it to a baking sheet. So the next step is I'm just going to add this tofu into the oven at about 400 degrees. I'm going to leave it there until it's crunchy and crispy on the outside of it. That's something that you're going to want to kind of open it up every once in a while and check on. You're not going to hurt your tofu if it gets a little bit extra crunchy, so don't sweat it too much. So I'm not going to cook my vegetables all the way through. I'm only going to be cooking them a little bit because I want to keep some of the crunch there with the vegetables. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the onions. We're going to cook them down for a couple of minutes to sweat them out a little bit. Then I'm going to be adding the peppers to that. And then once they've cooked down for just a couple minutes, 4 minutes or so, then I'm going to add my coconut milk, my curry, and some of those other flavors that we're going to be putting in. While I'm waiting for the oil in my pot to get a little hot, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with my cilantro here. So with cilantro, unlike a lot of other herbs where you want to cut off the stem, it's actually not essential at all that you cut off the stem. In fact, this time around, I'm going to be having some of the stem in my curry sauce. So what I want to do is I want to cut off the part that's been in the ground, I guess. So about 1.5 inches or so off the bottom of that, about like this. I'm going to throw that away. And then for the rest of these stems, I'm actually going to just mince them, much like you would something like garlic. And these stems are going to add a great amount of flavor to our curry. Then we're going to save the leaves to put on top of the curry after everything's already been cooked through. Okay, now it's time for us to start putting our vegetables in. Don't want our pot to be too hot, about medium. So we're going to sweat these onions. I'm not going to cook it all the way through like you'd want to do with the caramelization. We want it to be somewhat translucent. Now that my onions are translucent, I'm going to add the peppers. I'm going to cook these down for about 2 or 3 minutes or so. So now's a good time to throw in the bay leaves. And we're also going to add our garlic. Okay, so our vegetables are cooked down for a few minutes, but now we're about ready to start making our curry sauce. What we're going to first add is about a teaspoon or so of this minced ginger. I'm going to use the end of ours right here. The next thing we're going to add is our curry paste. We're going to want about at least 1.5 tablespoons, close to 2 tablespoons full of this stuff. So I've been stirring in this incredibly wonderful smelling curry paste into our pot. Next up, we're going to add our coconut milk. In general, you want to get something like sugar-free coconut milk. You don't want it to be super sweet. We're going to add some vegetable broth. With vegetable broth, I like to get the low sodium variety. With anything that you get that's in a can or in a box or something like that, I highly recommend the low sodium version of it. The reason why I say that is because it's so much easier for you to add your own salt to your taste than it is for you to take salt away once it's in there. The last couple of things we're going to put in this before we add our tofu that's been sitting in the oven for a bit is that cornstarch mixture that we made earlier. What this is going to do is it's going to help the coconut milk and the curry paste kind of come together, and it's also going to add a little bit of a better viscosity to the sauce, or thicken it. The last 2 things I'm going to add, 1 or so wedges of lime to this. The lime juice is going to just give it a little bit of an acidic, a thing that we would associate with a lot of Thai cuisine. Now we're going to add up our diced stems of the cilantro. And finally, I'm going to add some red pepper. In our household, we like our food really spicy. The curry is going to give you a level of spice. So if you don't like spicy food at all, I wouldn't recommend adding a ton of red pepper. But if you're like us and you like spicy food, add as much as you want. So now that we've added the tofu, all we have to do is close it. We're going to set it on medium-low, and we're just going to let this simmer for about ½ an hour. So the last thing you gotta do, you just gotta add it over some white rice or brown rice, whatever kind of rice you're interested in. Just gonna add a little bit of cilantro to the top. Well, there you have it, folks. That's our vegan tofu red curry. I hope you enjoy it. I know we will. It smells so good. The big thing I want you to take away from all of this is that you don't have to go to a restaurant to try something new. You can make incredible dishes from the comfort of your own home. So especially at a time like these where we're expected to stay home, that doesn't mean you have to limit yourself to rice and beans. I don't know what I'm going to say at the end. So stay home and enjoy yourselves, and let's just try to cook. And with that, good luck and stay healthy.